welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And we're diving back into Breaking Dawn today. We're going to do the next 3 chapters.
That's right. And before we get too deep into anything, just a reminder, you can find us at all of our social medias. They are linked below. We would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and follow. You should also hit the notification bell so you can be alerted when our new videos come out. We have our Saturday videos, and if you're a longtime listener, you've probably scrolled through by now and you just realized that you didn't scroll far enough. Keep going. Saturday videos where we do our book reviews, and Wednesdays we have our Who Knows What Wednesday, where we talk about murder, mystery, trauma, mainly trauma.
A lot of trauma.
A lot of trauma. Not our own, thankfully.
No, not yet.
Not yet. We just secondary traumatize ourselves. Yeah. But well, it's a little bit of something, and then we just traumatize ourselves with movie reactions to the Twilight movies. We are so close to the end of Breaking Dawn here, and as a reminder, do not spoil anything about the liberties that the movies take. Jess doesn't know about them, so husha, please.
I am done with the book now officially, so that is safe. But apparently the movie is different, so Connie's ready for this, and
I'm ready to be done.
I'm ready to be done. I will say this is by far the best book, but I guess the bar was low, so this was by far the best book in the series.
Yeah, this was the best book, but the bar was low. Now that I would put on a t-shirt with like the Twilight logo.
If I can figure out how to do merch, that might be on the list.
Oh yeah, it should be the Breaking Dawn logo. Well, it's copyright reasons.
We can't do that, but
yeah. Edward's face?
Maybe something. We can see what we can do.
There is totally a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That was wonderful. Oh God, yeah, the bar was shockingly low.
Yeah, but we do only have a few more episodes of Breaking Dawn, and then we have some more exciting books planned coming up. We are very, very excited for those ones, and we're not going to spoil it for you yet. All right. Well, anything before we hop into 22?
I feel like there's normally something else we add in here, but
I think it's a summary, but
we are not summarizing the cacophony of cluster that has been
not what's been going on. Absolutely
See previous
not.
episodes.
Yeah. All right, so chapter 22 is Promised. On their way back, Bella wants to know all about her.
Her Renesmee.
Thank you.
Got it.
Who was the her?
Oh, that's right. They had gone out Bella's first hunt. Now she's, gorged herself on Mountain Lion and is heading back home to meet her daughter. Re-meet her daughter. Meet her daughter for the first time as a vampire?
Yes. I mean, she met her briefly, and then Renesmee bit her, and then Bella almost died and then got turned into a vampire.
Oh, that actually is kind of like, I'm wondering if she's going to have a little scar from the bite because she was still human, so she always gets to carry like a little mark of her daughter.
I don't know if that's ever mentioned. My brain doesn't think so. But that would be cute.
I don't think it is. That's cute. And I'm sure the moms in the comments are like, oh yeah, I carry those marks. They're called stretch marks. And I'm like, yeah. I think the one nice little thing might be nicer than stretch marks, but stretch marks can be painful.
They can be. Yeah.
Well,
there was a nice little summary for you. You're welcome.
There we go.
It's been a hot minute since we have recorded, so to be honest, I didn't know where we were picking up.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. Edward tells Bella that Renesmee seems like a fairly even divide of the two of them, and she's not like anything in this world. She's warm-blooded, and her temperature runs a little higher than normal. She sleeps and is even sleeping through the night. Her eyes are just like Bella's. Her skin seems impenetrable, like theirs, but no one would ever dream to test it. She prefers to drink blood, but Carlisle still tries to persuade her to drink baby formula. She is shockingly smart, and even though she didn't speak yet, she was effective in communication. It is difficult to describe, so she'll have to go and figure it out for herself. Bella asks why Jacob is still there. Isn't he suffering? Edward assured him that he isn't suffering, but he may be willing to change that. Bella hissed at him. How can he say that with how much Jacob has given up to protect them? Edward muttered that she'll see, but he promised to let Jacob explain. He doubts that she will see things different than Edward, though. Bella is frustrated and confused. Edward understands, but assured her that he'll get her home so she can find everything out. They get back to the Cullens' front lawn, and Jacob was waiting there for her, and Seth and Leah were in the tree line. Edward tells them that maybe this isn't the best way. Be careful. Jacob tells him this is safer than letting her near the baby. Bella is confused. Was this a test? Bella got close to Jacob, and he grins at her and tells her she's a freak show.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Bella grinned back. This is like how he always was. She understood this side of him. Edward growled from behind, though. Bella tells Edward that Jacob's right. The eyes are something. Because her eyes are still bloodshot red. Yeah. Jacob agrees. Super creepy, but not as bad as he expected. He tells her he isn't going anywhere. He does look almost guilty, though. Jacob looks to Edward and thanks him for keeping his promise. He usually doesn't and didn't expect him to. Quote, maybe I'm hoping she'll get irritated and rip your head off.
I mean, yeah, but at this point, if I was Bella, I would be like full steam and mad at this point. I'm like, what is not being told to me?
Someone tell me what's going on now.
The next person who makes a comment about like, oh, maybe she'll react, like, I will end them. Like,
yeah. Bella demands to know what's going on, and Jacob tells her that he'll explain later. Bella tells Edward to hold on to her before she takes a breath. She doesn't want to hurt him. She takes a tiny breath. It hurts a little, but he didn't smell any more human than a mountain lion. The sound of his heart, though, was appealing. Quote, I took another breath and relaxed. Huh, I can see what everyone's been going on about. You stink, Jacob. Edward burst into laughter. His hand slipped from my shoulders to wrap around my waist. Seth barked a low chortle in harmony with Edward. He came a little closer while Leah retreated several paces, and then I was aware of another audience when I heard Emmett's low, distinct guffaw, muffled a little by the glass wall between us. End quote. Bella passed the test and can now go see her daughter. She is worried and asks if Edward will be there to help her, and then ensures that Emmett and Jasper will be there too. Jacob still isn't convinced, though, but Edward tells him to get out of the way. She passed his test. They walked in, and Bella gasps. Has it only been 2 days? She looked like she was a week old already. She raised a hand, reaching to Bella, and then touched Rosalie. Rosalie tells her, yes, that's her. Bella took a hesitant step to her. Emmett and Jasper jumped in front of her, shoulder to shoulder, and Edward was ready to grab Bella from behind. Rosalie also backed up, and Jacob kept a protective stance in front of them. Alice was the only one who didn't move. She tells everyone to give Bella some credit. She wasn't going to do anything. They would want a closer look too if they were her. Bella was in control of herself. She was ready for anything, but the temptation was not near the human smell. Renesmee's blood was enough of the vampire smell to keep the human one from being overwhelming. Bella promises that she's okay, but she wants them close. Jasper's eyes were focused on Bella. Edward tells Jasper she's got this. Jasper tries to explain the risks. Edward cuts him off and tells him about what happened in the woods. And our first quote.
Oh.
It's going to be a long quote.
But of course.
But here's the thing. These quotes are not like Twilight or New Moon quotes.
Stared. He stared. The face. The breath.
They breathed. He had a sweet smelling breath. So nothing can compare to that. This is all generally good quotes.
Again, the best book of the series, but the bar was low.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Jasper gasped. She didn't hunt the humans? She started to, Edward said, clearly enjoying himself. My teeth ground together. She was entirely focused on the hunt. What happened? Carlyle interjects. His eyes were suddenly bright, an amazed smile beginning to form on his face. It reminded me of before when he'd wanted the details on my transformation experience, the thrill of new information. Edward leaned toward him, animated. She heard me behind her and reacted defensively. As soon as my pursuit broke into her connection, she snapped right out of it. I've never seen anything to equal her. She realized at once what was happening, and then she held her breath and ran away. Whoa, Emmett murmured. Seriously? He's not telling it right, I muttered, more embarrassed than before. He left out the part where I growled at him. Did you get in a good couple of swipes? Emmett asked eagerly. No, of course not. No, not really? You didn't attack him? Emmett, I protested. Aw, what a waste, Emmett groaned.
I love Emmett.
I do too. He's got some really good quotes coming up too, by the way. And here you're probably the one person who could take him since he can't get in your head to cheat. And you have a perfect excuse too, he sighed. I've been dying to see what he'd do without that advantage. I glared at him frostily. I would never. Jasper's frown caught my attention. He seemed even more disturbed than before. Edward touched his fist lightly to Jasper's shoulder in a mock punch. You see what I mean? It's not natural, Jasper muttered.
What about any of this is natural?
None.
Exactly.
She could have turned on you. She's only hours old, Esme scolded, putting her hand against her heart. Oh, we should have gone with you. I wasn't paying so much attention. Now that Edward was past the punchline of his joke, I was staring at the gorgeous child by the door, who was still staring at me. Her little dimpled hands reached out toward me like she knew exactly who I was. Automatically, my hand lifted to mimic hers. Edward, I said, leaning around Jasper to see her better. Please. Jasper's teeth were set. He didn't move. Jazz, this isn't anything you've seen before, Alice said quietly. Trust me. Their eyes met for a short second, and then Jasper nodded. He moved out of my way, but put one hand on my shoulder and moved with me as I walked slowly forward. Like I said, these are good quotes coming up. They're not
any of Twilight.
No. We're past that. We're more mature in this book now, okay? Slightly. Slightly.
Sure.
We've graduated from the breath and the winking and the
We better have.
It was something.
That was emotional turmoil.
I will say, I don't know what chapter it is, but there is a very, very cringy end of chapter quote that is I didn't want to put in.
So it's in.
It's in.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we get to that, because I don't remember what chapter. Renesmee started to cry. Bella asked what happened. Jacob takes her from Rosalie, and Rosalie assures him that she is fine. Renesmee puts a hand on Jacob, and Rosalie tells him, see, she just wants Bella. She's been waiting almost 3 days. Bella comes closer, and she tells him he is fine. The only anxiety she had was coming from seeing Renesmee shaking Jacob's shaky arms, because he's anxious and he's shaking. There's a lot of shaking going on. Jacob held her out to Bella, but she didn't let go. Renesmee looked up and smiled at Bella, showing her little teeth and dimples, and she reached for Bella's face. This is going to be a creepy baby. A little, like, a baby that looks like 1 week old with a full set of teeth.
Yeah, it's not great. The movie does the best they can, but it's just
Creepy.
unnerving.
Great. Oh. When she touched her, Bella saw a strong memory in her head. It was her face. Bella was seeing Renesmee's last memory of her. She dropped her hand and smiled at Bella. Rosalie asked what she showed her. Edward muttered that he told her it was hard to explain, but it's an effective communication. Bella tells them, and Edward says it was the only memory she had of her. She is letting Bella know that she knows who she is. Carlisle points out that it's an interesting twist. It's like she's doing the opposite of Edward. Bella tells Renesmee she remembers her too. She was worth the fight. Jasper is hovering. Alice tells him she is fine. Jacob chimes in that that's enough experimenting for one day. Bella's doing great, but let's not push it. Bella tugged a little on his hold on Renesmee. What was his problem? Edward hisses at him. Quote, just because I understand doesn't mean I won't throw you out, Jacob. Bella is doing extraordinarily well. Don't ruin the moment for her. I'll help him toss you, dog.
Yeah. Oh, Rosalie said that.
Yeah, Rosalie. Yep. I'll help you toss him, dog, Rosalie promised, her voice seething. I owe you a good kick in the gut. End quote. Bella watched Jacob stare at Renesmee. And then my note of no.
You were like, I know.
No.
Oh, what's that TikTok noise? The oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This. Yeah. Jasper clenched his teeth. Edward grabbed Bella around the chest. Jacob took Renesmee from Bella's arms, and Bella let her go. She felt it coming, what they were all waiting for. Bella tells Rosalie to take Renesmee. Rosalie holds her hands out, and Jacob gives her the baby. They backed away. Bella tells Edward to let go and stand in front of Renesmee. She doesn't want to hurt them. She doesn't want to hurt him. So she wants Edward out of the way. So she has full front line focus of Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Bella entered her hunting crouch and got closer to Jacob.
Oh no, I think I remember all this.
You didn't, I snarled at him. He backed away, palms up, trying to reason with me. You know it's not something I can control. You stupid mutt, how could you? My baby. And this is why it's quoted, Connie. He backed out the front door now as I stalked him, half running backward down the stairs. It wasn't my idea, Bella. I've held her all of one time, and already you think you have some moronic wolfy claim to her? She's mine. I can share, he said pleadingly as he retreated across the lawn. Pay up, I heard Emmett say behind me. A small part of my brain wondered who had bet against this outcome. I didn't waste much attention on it. I was too furious. How dare you imprint on my baby? Have you lost your mind? It was involuntary, he insisted, backing into the trees. Then he wasn't alone. The two huge wolves reappeared, flanking him on either side. Leah snapped at me. A fearsome snarl ripped through my teeth back at her. The sound disturbed me, but not enough to stop my advance. Bella, would you try to listen for just a second, please? Jacob begged. Leah, back off, he added. Leah curled her lip at me and didn't move. Why should I listen? I hissed. Fury reigned in my head. It clouded everything else out. Because you're the one who told me this. Do you remember? You said we belonged in each other's lives, right? That we were family. You said that was how you and I were supposed to be. So now we are. It's what you wanted. I glared ferociously. I did dimly remember those words, but my new quick brain was 2 steps ahead of his nonsense. You think you'll be a part of my family as my son in law? I screeched. My bell voice ripped through 2 octaves and still came out sounding like music. Emmett laughed. Stop her, Edward, Esme murmured. She'll be unhappy if she hurts him. But I felt no pursuit behind me. No, Jacob was insisting at the same time. How can you ever look at it that way? She's just a baby, for crying out loud. That's my point, I yelled. You know I don't think of her that way. Do you think Edward would have let me live this long if I did? All I want is for her to be safe and happy. Is that so bad? So different from what you want? He was shouting right back at me. Beyond words, I shrieked a growl at him. Amazing, isn't she? I heard Edward murmur. She hasn't gone for his throat even once, Carlyle agreed, sounding stunned. Fine, you win this one, Emmett said grudgingly. You're going to stay away from her, I hissed up at Jacob. I can't do that. Through my teeth, try, starting now. It's not possible. Do you remember how much you wanted me around 3 days ago? How hard it was to be apart from each other? That's gone from you now, isn't it? I glared, not sure what he was implying. That was her, he told me. From the beginning, we had to be together even then. I remembered, and then I understood. A tiny part of me was relieved to have the madness explained. But that relief somehow only made me angrier. Was he expecting that to be enough for me? That one little clarification would make me okay with this? Run away while you still can, I threatened. Come on, Bells. Nessie likes me too, he insisted. I froze. My breathing stopped. Behind me, I heard the lack of sound that was their anxious reaction. What did you call her? Jacob took a step further back, managing to look sheepish. Well, he mumbled, that name you came up with is kind of a mouthful. And you nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster, I screeched, and then I lunged for his throat. End of chapter 22.
I'm just saying, I get where Bella's coming from on that one, because people, how much work goes into picking a kid's name?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like as the mom, I feel like that's such a big deal.
Yeah.
At least from the moms that I've talked to. If like something traumatic happens to me, I come out of, labor, delivery, all that fun stuff. I don't get to see my daughter for days. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff is happening. I'm not getting told information. I put all this painstaking effort and emotion into choosing your name. And now someone else is like, Nessie. I'd be like, you know what? I would lunge too.
Yeah, I get it. I do like the nickname, though. I don't care about, like, the Loch Ness. Like, I get the Loch Ness Monster point of it, but it's cute.
It's cute, but it's the fact that, like, she didn't even get to choose it.
Yeah, well.
I feel like you discuss nicknames, too, before the baby's born. At least my parents did that with me.
As parents, yes.
Are you upset because I'm upset? Because I'm upset because of a book.
But I mean, sometimes people just come up with nicknames.
They do, but granted, one of my sisters came up with the other sister's nickname because she couldn't say her name. Yeah, no, I'm with Bella on this one, where when I read it as a teenager, I'm like, oh no, I'm like siding more with Jacob. Like, it's just an unfortunate situation. And now I'm like, get him. Get him.
I mean, yeah. I get both points of view, but
I do, but I'm with Emmett.
I mean, would you want to say Renesmee every 2 seconds? Oh, Renesmee's at the door. Oh, Renesmee's doing this.
I'd probably shorten it to Nez.
Oh, yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. But again, all things considered, she held it together very well. Postpartum, transformation, all this stuff. Bella's doing wonderful.
She's doing great.
Wow, it's the first time I've been a real Bella stan in a while.
I know. Well, Bella's a vampire now, so Bella's different.
She's not like other girls. Okay.
Anything else on 22?
No.
All right, 23, memories. Edward is apologizing to Seth for what happened. Bella lost her temper and tried to rip Jacob's head off. He didn't even phase to protect himself. And when Seth jumped in to protect Jacob, she broke his shoulder and collarbone. She almost killed her best friend. He did have a few things to answer for, but nothing deserves what she did. Bella tries to apologize. Seth assures her that he's totally fine. Edward tells her that no one blames her. She's doing very well. Carlisle is setting Seth's bones, and Bella apologizes again, but Seth isn't even fazed by it. He pats her knee as Carlisle is working and tells her to not freak out. He'll be back to normal in about a half of an hour. Anyone would have reacted how she had, but he's glad she didn't bite him or anything. Bella shudders. Carlisle finished and tells Seth to stay still for a few hours. Seth agrees and shortly after falls asleep. Bella got up and moved to the back windows to think. One of the biggest things to have changed was the end of the feud with Sam's pack. The truce was now stronger than ever because of the pack laws. The pack laws state that no wolf can kill the object of another wolf's imprinting. If they did, the whole pack would have to fight to the death. So Renesmee was untouchable because of Jacob. And Sam couldn't get mad at Bella's transformation because Jacob, as rightful alpha, allowed it. Bella then redirected her thoughts in order to control her emotions. She thought on how Jacob and Sam discovered that the packs may not be able to talk to one another, but alphas could speak to each other in wolf form. Not in the same way as it once was. It's more like they were speaking out loud, and they only heard what the other wanted them to hear. They discovered this when Jacob went over alone to explain Renesmee to Sam. It was the only time he has ever left her. Once Sam understood, everything changed. He came back with Jacob to talk to Carlisle and transformed to talk to him face to face. The treaty was renewed. Charlie. So Charlie called Esme earlier and several times after that. There were a few times they let the phone just ring. What was the right thing to tell him? Would telling him that she died and have a funeral be what's best? It didn't seem right to her, but she wouldn't put Charlie, Renee, or Renesmee in danger of the Volturi. Bella still had her idea. Let him see her and make his own assumptions, so technically no rules would be broken. After all, wouldn't it be better for Charlie to know that she was alive and happy, even if she was strange, different, and probably scary to him? How long would it be for her eyes to change and for her to get control? Jasper quietly asks what's wrong. No one's angry at her, and she did way better than anyone expects from her. She tells him that she was thinking of Charlie. Bella starts to plead that they don't really have to leave, at least not for a while. Edward tells her they have to. It's the only way to protect Charlie. Bella's going to miss him and everyone here. Bella thought about Jacob. She was relieved that he was still her friend and accepted her, even as a monster. This wasn't how she wanted Jacob to be in her life. Bella recalled one of the last times she said goodbye to him. She told him whoever she was wouldn't be good enough. Bella snorted. There was a bigger problem, though. Had Sam, Jared, or Quill gone a whole day without seeing their fixations, what would happen if they separated them? There was a movement from the front porch that interrupted her thoughts. Edward tells her it must be 6 o'clock. Carlisle measures Renesmee, he corrects himself, 4 times a day because she is growing so quickly. Bella does the math in her head. She looks on her way to being a toddler already. What do they do? Edward's not sure. Jacob mutters that it's slowing. But Carlisle tells him he needs several more measurements to track a trend. He can't make any promises. Jacob points out that she grew 2 inches yesterday and less today. Quote, by 30 seconds of an inch. If my measurements are perfect, Carlisle said quickly. Be perfect, Doc, Jacob said, making the words almost threatening. Rosalie stiffened. Jacob sighed. Guess that's all I can ask, end quote. Renesmee started to squirm and reached to Rosalie. Rosalie leaned so she could touch her. After a second, Rose sighed. She wanted Bella, of course. Rose asks how Bella's feeling. She's worried, but she's in control. Jacob tensed but didn't stop Rosalie as she offered her to Bella. Jasper and Edward were close by, hovering, but they didn't stop. Renesmee touched Bella's cheek as she grabbed her. She saw everything between her, Jacob, and Seth. Edward chuckled, watching through everything with Bella. Renesmee smiled. Her memory eyes didn't leave Jacob through the whole thing. She seemed glad Seth put himself in front of Jacob. She didn't want Jacob to be hurt. He was hers. Jacob teased them. He told them that she liked him too. Rose patted her face, and another memory flashed. Rosalie gently brushing her curls, then Carlisle with his measuring tape. Edward comments that it seems like she's catching her up on everything that Bella's missed. The next memory was blood in a cup. Renesmee was instantly out of her arms, and they pinned Bella's arms behind her back. Bella asks what she did. Edward looked to Jasper, who was holding Bella, and then to Bella. Edward tells her that she was remembering being thirsty and tasting human blood. Jasper's arms pulled her tighter together. This wasn't painful, just annoying, and she was sure that she would be able to break the hold if he didn't fight it. Bella acknowledges what Edward said and asks what she did still. Edward frowned and then laughed. Nothing, it seems. The overreaction in this is his. He tells Jasper to let Bella go. Bella reached out for now I can't say her name.
It gets tricky if you think about it.
Bella reached out for Renesmee, and without hesitation, Edward gave her to Bella. Jasper strode through the back door. He doesn't understand and can't bear it. Edward tells Bella that he'll be back. He just needs a moment to readjust his perspective. He's wondering if the newborn madness is as difficult as we've always thought, or if the right focus and attitude could anyone do as well as Bella is. Bella's making Jasper question a lot of things. Carlisle points out that is unfair. Everyone is so different. Also, maybe what Bella is goes beyond what is natural for them. Maybe this is her gift. Bella froze in surprise. Renesmee touched her, recalling the last seconds, and wonders why. Edward thinks that this is plausible. Bella takes a moment to think what this could mean. First, it means that she isn't just ordinary, but also she isn't in the newborn craze, meaning that they didn't have to hide out somewhere remote while she grew up. But what if she's like Carlisle and never kills anyone? Could she be a good vampire right away? She could see Charlie. Well, not right away, at least once the eyes change. Edward asks Carlisle if he thinks that this is talent or just her preparation. Carlisle isn't sure. He says it's similar to his friend Siobhan?
Siobhan.
Siobhan.
It's Irish. It's weird.
Siobhan?
I believe the American way to say it is Siobhan, but like Irish, it's confusing.
Don't hate me, comment section. I'm
Siobhan.
Sorry.
Irish names are hard.
Yeah.
I do think the Irish name Saoirse is beautiful though. Like the actress.
They're pretty names. It's
beautiful.
Just I can't say them.
Siobhan. Just Siobhan.
Siobhan. Yeah, she comes in the end of the book, so wish me luck because I'll be saying her name more often down the road. Um, but she reminds Carlisle of her from the Irish Coven. She thinks the same. She decides her goals and then wills them into reality. She sees it as good planning, but he wondered if it was something more. Renesmee continued to tell Bella all about her day. She held her and rocked her by the window. Bella realized that there was no reason to sit down. They probably only did out of habit and to make them blend in better. After an hour or so, Renesmee's memories slowed. They started to blur around the edges and would drift before the end. Bella was about to panic, but her eyes fluttered down and her eyes closed. She yawned, stretched, and her eyes didn't reopen. Her hand fell from Bella's face after a while. Bella lifted her hand. At first, there was nothing, but then she started seeing colors, flickers in her thoughts. Bella watched her dreams. She was pleased to see her face so often. Well, both of her faces, before and after being a vampire. She was brought up more than Edward or Rosalie and was neck to neck with Jacob. Quote, for the first time, I understood how Edward had been able to watch me sleep night after boring night just to hear me talk in my sleep. I could watch Renesmee's dreams forever. End quote.
Okay, I get it from the parent perspective. The Edward thing is still creepy.
Still creepy to me.
Still really creepy.
Yeah. Edward caught her attention, saying finally, as he gazed outside, it was night. Outside, Leah got up and went into the bush just as Alice came into view, as well as Esme, Emmett, and Jasper. Alice skipped into the room and handed Bella a brass key with an oversized pink satin bow. Bella extended her hand, still holding Renesmee. Alice squealed, "Happy birthday." Bella rolled her eyes. No one starts counting on the actual first day. The first birthday is at the year mark. Quote, her grin turned smug. We're not celebrating your vampire birthday yet. It's September 13th, Bella. Happy 19th birthday. End quote. End of chapter 23.
All right. Wow, there's a lot that has happened in 22 and 23.
I know. It's this book, shockingly not that bad. Did it need to be as big as it is? No, but not that bad.
No, but it took a long time to get there.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Yep. All right, on to chapter 24.
On to 24.
All right, surprise. No, this wasn't her 19th birthday. She stopped aging 3 days ago. She is stuck at 18 forever. Alice dismissed her. They're celebrating anyway, so she can suck it up. She then asks if she's ready for her present. Edward corrects her presents. He then pulled a silver key out with a blue bow from his pocket. Alice tells him hers first. They argue like siblings for a while. Alice suggests that she play him for it. Rock, paper, scissors.
The psychic versus the mind reader. Yeah. Oh, it feels like the chicken and the egg conversation.
So Jasper chuckled and Edward sighs. Just tell him who wins. Alice beams. She does. Excellent.
I can see you doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, these chapters are just fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot of fun.
We deserve some fun after everything we've been through.
Yeah, we got through the awful first 3 books, and now we get fun.
Yeah. Took a minute.
A long minute. Edward smiles. It was probably better that his wait. It may be more fun if Jacob was awake for the big reveal. That way, someone will be there who is able to give him the correct amount of enthusiasm. Alice tells Bella to give Renesmee to Rosalie. Everyone's calling her Nessie. Bella asks where she usually sleeps. Well, always in someone's arms. She's never actually been set down in her whole life. Bella hands her over, and Alice shoves the key into her hand and grabs her elbow. She's steered her toward the back door. Rosalie tells her to enjoy her gift. It's from all of them, Esme especially. They're giving her a chance to appreciate it alone, and she can thank them later. Emmett gave a weird laugh. Something about it made Bella feel like blushing. Alice drags Bella, and Edward follows. They go off into the woods, and Alice puts her hands around Bella's face to cover her eyes. Edward grabs her hand and leads her forward. Alice admits that Edward might actually be more appreciative of this gift. It's truly for both of them. Edward thanks her. They come to a stop. Alice takes her hands off. There is a cute, tiny stone cottage ahead with a garden and a stone path. Bella was shocked. Edward tells her that Esme thought that they might want their own space, but she didn't want them to be too far away. She also loves to renovate. Esme thought Bella would like it the best the way that it was meant to look. They were all debating on how Bella would want it. Bella is still in shock. She can't believe that they're giving her a house for her birthday. Quote, us, Edward corrected. And no, it's more of a cottage, I think. The word house implies more legroom. No knocking my house, I whispered to him. End quote.
Aww.
Alice was thrilled. She loved it. She can't wait to tell Esme. She hadn't come because they remembered how Bella is with presents and didn't want to put pressure on her. Alice tells Bella that the closet is stocked. Use it wisely, but call her if she can't match her clothes. She's off to go hunt with Jasper. Bella feels guilty. Do they really think that she was that bad that they have to stay away from her? Edward tells her that their other gift was alone time. Alice was just trying to be subtle about it. Edward grabs her hand and leads her to the house. He picks her up and carries her over the threshold. The cottage looks like something out of a fairy tale. It was perfect. The floor was smooth, flat stones. There was a low ceiling with exposed beams. There was a beehive fireplace with a slow flickering fire. The flames were blue and green from the salt. None of the furniture matched, but they all worked well together. The bookshelf was stocked, and there were paintings on the wall.
I didn't even question it.
Paintings on the room. Yeah, well, not fully wrong, but just
Yeah, I was thinking like the walls were painted. Like that the room was the painting.
Oh boy.
My grandma had a wall like that in her house.
Yeah,
It was cool.
That'd be really cool, yeah.
And I would love to do that.
If I was more artistic, I'm not.
Even though I'm not, I think that's what would make it really fun.
Could even use a projector.
Trace it. Oh,
Get
I'd
an
like to
image.
do that in my office. Yeah. Or actually, there.
There or there.
The wall in the stairs.
Yeah. That would be cool, but So there are paintings on the wall.
Yeah.
Edward points out that they're lucky that Esme put in a small room. No one had planned on Ness or Renesmee. Bella complained of the nickname. Edward, too. Edward apologizes. He hears it all the time in everyone's head, and it's rubbing off on him. It'd be really hard to nod if everyone's thinking it 24/7. Edward points out that he is sure she is just dying to see the closet. Or at least that's what he's going to tell Alice.
Aww.
Bella asks if she should be afraid. Edward responds, terrified. As they made their way down the hall, Edward points out Renesmee's room and tells her that they haven't done much with it because there hasn't been time with everything with the angry werewolves. They made it to their room. Esme brought in elements from Esme Island. She assumed that they would get attached to it there. The bed was white. The walls were white blue of a sunny day, and there was a glass door that led into a hidden garden. It was breathtaking. Edward points out the closet and warns her that it's bigger than their room. Bella didn't even glance at the doors. There was nothing that could distract her from Edward now.
Ew. I mean, oh. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to come out.
Oh,
Yeah, I thumbed through this chapter as a child. I was like, meh.
but we don't do that here. Not for this
No.
book, at least. If we get into other books, yes, but.
Yep.
So they will lie to Alice and tell her that she ran right into the closet and spent hours playing dress up.
Well, at least make it a believable lie.
Edward catches on to what Bella is saying. He fiercely kisses her, and then there's fabric being torn. It was their second honeymoon, and it wouldn't be like their first. It would be much better. Skipping forward, when the sky outside had started to lighten, Bella asked if he missed her like she was before. Was he sad that she was no longer soft, warm, and smelt incredible? Edward tells her she is still warm and soft, and as for the scent, he couldn't miss that. Now he doesn't have to hold back. It's hard to say. Everyone is so different, and what they know about newborns doesn't seem to apply to Bella. The thirst and desire doesn't really fade, but you learn how to prioritize and manage it. Rosalie and Emmett were the worst, and it took a decade before they could be within a 5-mile radius of a human. Bella also hasn't ever been awake during the night. They never sleep, so Bella just knows what's going on in the day. They have a lot of free time. It's this chapter. I wrote a note, cringy, end of chapter quote, please rush through it.
Oh, no.
That can't be that. What chapter am I on? Chapter 24? Did I accidentally not? Yeah, I lost my...
Oh, you lost your marker?
Yeah, I lost my marker. Oh, no, because it's not even in the book. I wrote it down. Okay. Rushing through it. We're just going to say it, not acknowledge it. We'll move on. You ready?
No, let's go.
Emmett would have you believe that I'm such a know-it-all because of the mind reading, but the truth is that I've just had a lot of free time. We laughed together, and the motion of our laugh did interesting things to the way our bodies were connected, effectively ending that conversation. End quote, end of chapter 24. We're not acknowledging Connie. So that's our 3 chapters for the day. I didn't know when I started doing quotes to end the chapter, I didn't know that would come to bite me in the butt.
Oh, I am holding back so much. There was nope. Do not say what you think you are thinking. Do not say it. This is the internet. Things last forever. What a chapter.
What a chapter. On that note, anything you would like to talk about?
So much, but we're not gonna on the internet.
I am excited to, just ignoring that awful quote, I am excited to see the cottage in the movie, though. Is the cottage even in the movie? Better be in the movie.
No, I think it is. Actually, I don't remember.
Okay. So
But it's been a really long time since I've watched the Breaking Dawn movies.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't think I've actually watched the movies more than once. I think I've only watched Twilight. I've seen the most. But yeah, no, I think I've only seen New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. Other than the times that, we will watch it for this channel, I think I've only watched them maybe once.
Is that because of the deviation, that you don't like the deviation, or it just isn't your favorite movie?
It's just not typically something that I'll reach for because I have a thing. If I'm going to watch a movie, going for a very particular mood. If I actually want to sit down and like really get into a movie, that's very rare and far between in occurrences in my life currently. But normally, if I would want to sit down and watch something like Twilight, that's when I don't have a lot of stuff going on and I can be like, oh yeah, I'm remembering this. And it's probably going to prompt me to like reread Midnight Sun or like think about the other stuff. And that is just a wormhole that I'm not always up to opening.
That's fair.
Wormhole? Can of worms? Worms?
Can of worms.
Holy
I
cans?
think
I
so.
don't know.
Yeah, well,
Something.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a, yeah.
Yeah. I hope the cottage is in there.
I do too. I have this picture in my head,
So do I.
especially because she's like the stone floors and it's like a fairy tale. And obviously there was more descriptions than what I put in, but like I have this very specific thing in mind that I'm like, I want essence of this. Obviously it's not going to be what I picture in my mind, but like.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
Wow. Yeah, I think the Breaking Dawn movies are the movies I've seen the least.
Well, we'll get around to them in a couple weeks.
Yeah. We'll get there. We got it. Oh.
But that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah, and that was an interesting way to end. There's a lot of things in this series that we've just had to just not acknowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. I am glad that I made that note to myself, though, because if I probably would have, to be honest, I thought it was later on that quote happened. So I would have gone into that unprepared and just stopped talking.
That was getting wild there, are we, Stephanie?
Mm-hmm. I know. I was shocked that she put that in there.
This is making more sense, though, that 50 Shades of Grey was, a fanfic of this. Maybe they were inspired by that, and they're like, there's potential for more trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you right now, I love you and I respect your opinions, but if you tell me that we should be doing the 50 Shades of Grey books on this series, no.
Nope.
No.
That will not happen. So if you wanted that to happen, sorry, no.
No, there's different podcasts. We are about 20 years too young for that. The middle-aged moms love
You're
that.
not right. Yeah, not me, not my
my cup of tea. Well, we will see y'all for our next episode of our, did we decide Serial Saturdays? Series Saturdays. Series Saturday.
It's up for debate. If you have an opinion, let us know.
We're looking for alliteration. It doesn't have to be, but it would be nice because it goes with our Who Knows What Wednesdays.
Yeah. Series Saturdays.
Series Saturdays, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a
I
contender.
I kind of like the Serial Saturday, though.
I know. I said it and I went, wait. No, that's Serial like Killer, which is back to Who Knows What Wednesday.
I know. I like it, though. Well, we're still open.
We're still open. Maybe it's like cereal, Well, that was not a helpful sentence. I said it in my head and saw the letters. Didn't help you guys. But cereal, it's fun. It's, reminiscent of childhood. It's not really that sustainable, but
I mean, serial, it's like multiple. So we are doing multiple episodes of one book. It is a serial.
Serial Saturdays. Yeah. Series. Yeah.
I know series is probably better, but
series is. Well, we'll leave it to the internet.
Yeah. Let us know if you have any. Yeah. Why haven't I asked AI this yet? I was just talking about using AI.
All right. We might do that afterwards, and then we can just cut this entire part. These aren't that bad, actually.
I like, what was the Netflix and chill one?
Chapter and chill.
Okay.
I almost knocked the crap out of that.
My top two from that, I really like those. Shelf Care Saturdays and Chapter and Chill.
I really like Chapter and Chill.
We can do Chapter and Chill. Chapter and Chill Saturdays.
If we get into self-help books, then we can do Shelf Care, but I feel like this is more traumatizing than care.
Especially for what's coming up.
Yep. All right. So, chapter and chill Saturdays.
Chapter and chill Saturdays.
We got the alliteration, not what we were looking for, but I'll take it.
I like it. I really like it, though.
Chapter and chill Saturday. Thank you for joining us on another chapter and chill Saturday.
There we go. Finally have a
Awesome.
name. It only took a year.
And some change.
Well, granted, I don't think that Who Knows What Wednesday came to be until October, so.
Oh, then we're doing great.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
All right. Well, join us next week for the next 3 chapters of Breaking Dawn.
Until then, just a reminder again, like, subscribe, follow. You really should. We give some pretty good advice here. Not really, but the good advice is that you should like, subscribe, and follow this channel.
There we are. Or shoot us an email.
Yes.
Say hi.
We always appreciate that. Yeah. Just let us know where you're listening from. And if you ever have any episode suggestions, either for our Who Knows What Wednesday or our Chapter and Chill Saturdays, we would love to hear those. There is an email for that, or you can leave it in the comments.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Adios. Chapter and chill.
I love that, actually.
I was not expecting much with the chat GPT.
No.